Let's check out the Steam Deck OLED running the finals. Brand new as of the other day. You can now run the finals on the Steam Deck, and today we've got it on the Steam Deck OLED. So to kick it off, you can't just go play, you've got to go on the settings, properties, compatibility, and then select Proton Experimental. Then you probably want to head on to the game settings, edit the layout, turn on gyro, because it makes it a lot easier. I mean, I'm still terrible, but whatever. And also make sure you turn on those back pads, because you really need to keep your hands on the proverbial wheel. And let's get into the finals. So, for my optimized settings, there's not a whole lot here, because it's basically low for everything. Running through a capture card, but one thing you might have noticed, instead of FSR, running Intel XeSS on quality. Now, if I was you, I would use this setting because it is far superior to FSR in terms of visual fidelity, and also the other alternative is TAAU, which you'll see just looks utterly terrible. So on the other settings, you've got static on global illumination, everything on low. I've put anti-aliasing on medium and textures on medium because I just think it looks a lot better, and there's not really much of a penalty. So yeah, TAAU, if you're going to have that on, you can keep it on at 95 or so. But FSR, I mean, if you look in the background as I switch to it, it's such an unstable image, it really is. It doesn't matter if you're on performance or quality. Let's just knock TAAU down. If you get to 50%, you can really see that shimmering. I mean, if you're into John mode, then that's exactly the way you want to play. It's like Vaseline is everywhere. It's cause some destruction. You get that oil painting like explosion. Fantastic. One thing I'd note is, because my capture card it's showing at 720p, you can run it at 800p. Doesn't really make any difference, I found. Looking at the FPS in the top, you're about 60 on this little section. When you get in game, you will get between 55 to 65 FPS for some of it. However, as you'll see, it will go lower, and I've got a bit of a recommendation of how I play it. So let me just show you once again the difference between FSR and XeSS. I think most people say that most games now XeSS is the way to play it. If you're after that performance increase without a massive hit to stability of the image. Between quality and ultra quality, I mean, if you look at the stairs in the background, there's not that much difference. TAAU, it's just a bit unstable. I'm not keen on the image, especially if you look in the background. Look, it's a lot of shimmering. But anyway, let's get them settings back and we'll jump into an actual game. Now, this game's still new, it's only about a month old. It runs Unreal Engine 5, which is obviously quite hefty, so you know, the fact we're getting playable frame rate on the Steam Deck is pretty damn impressive. This Seoul level, it runs a little bit better than the other one, which you'll see. But yeah, you're getting around about 60, but you're not getting that lock, and because we don't have VR, we're not going to. I wouldn't recommend it unless you just prefer the input response. Or if you are playing on the Steam Deck docked and you've got a VRR display, then that's a different kettle of fish. As you can see, a bit of action, nothing too crazy with the explosions yet, but drops into the low 50s, and I've been killed. Oh, being revived, it's always nice. Back in the game, let's see if we can create a bit of destruction. You see these indoors sections, you are very close to the 60, if not over. There's a bit of destruction. So that's where it drops down, and it always seems to drop into those high 40s. I mean, there's going to be outlier cases where it'll go lower because, I mean, on this game, if you've played it, you'll know there is some absolutely insane destruction you can get. So my teammate's got the vault here, so let's follow him for a bit. If we don't get attacked and killed, okay, let's go to the vault. Here we go. Right, dodging. Nice bit of strafe in there. Hide behind that. Oof, yeah. Under attack proper. The scalability of this game in terms of vertical scalability is absolutely fantastic. Let's get that cash box in. Put a couple of these gas mines. And then hide behind the table. And there's Seoul for you. So skip over to a bit further down there. I'll just show you some views out in the distance. Like I say, this is the kind of thing that tests the game. I'm just going to miss these people on purpose. It's totally not me. Just so you get a bit extra detail. Maybe get them to shoot at me and create some more damage. You can see it's high 40s. So what I would say is lock it on the Steam Deck OS to 45 FPS if you're on a Steam Deck OLED, or 40 if you're not. The reason for this is because 40 FPS is smack bang in the middle between 30 and 60 in terms of frame time, so it feels a hell of a lot smoother than 30, but not quite as smooth as 60. Yes, it's a competitive shooter, but you know, for now, until the optimization's there, this is what it is like on the Steam Deck. The reason I say 45 FPS on the OLED is because you've got that 90Hz screen, and more often than not it does stay with 45 FPS, so you've got a nice 2-to-1 match to the refresh rate there, and Steam Deck does support that, so it's a little bit extra fluidity. But if you want a nice solid lock, 40, and you know, it plays well. So just show you a bit of this other map here. It's a little bit harder on the deck. I don't really know why. In general, just the FPS seems a little bit lower. Might have just been my run through. It is such a dynamic game, as you know. I prefer the Seoul map personally. Here's me being Mercy.
Heroes never die.
And now we're doing Fortnite in the roof. But yeah, hopefully you get the impression. It plays really well because it's not officially supported at the moment, and it's still very early in the game. With some optimizations, you never know, this could be a much closer to 60 FPS game. Or we might get that smooth PAL 50 FPS, but yeah, I think there's some optimizations that still could happen, and yeah, overall, really fun game.